Good morning, everybody. Today I am here in Zurich at the Digital Festival. You can see here right in the back, Digital Festival organized by my good friend Jonathan, who invited me to be here and speak to some of the digital leaders of today's economy. One of them being the CEO of Microsoft Switzerland, Marianne. I have an ETH professor, the Chief Digital Officer of Swisscom. I'm speaking to the Chief Digital Officer of AMAG, which is a big car reseller here in Switzerland. But also, what more important is, I am wearing my spectacles from Snapchat. I'm really curious to see if there are people noticing even what this is. The goal of this vlog today is really to get a sense how digital leaders think of digital and what they do on a personal note to really be digital and how they foster digitalization within their corporates. So this is the goal of this video, and I really hope you enjoy it. And let's get on to this ride of digitalization at the Digital Festival 2018. Okay, so I'm very excited to have a few minutes with Roger. One of the key questions that I'm asking everybody today is, when we look at the digital leaders such as you, where you're really at the top of a corporate, how do you define digitalization?
Digitization, it's a new way to do the old business. The old business is disrupted by new business models, by new technologies, and I think that's maybe for me the key point.
For me, digitalization is a journey or a process to get digital, and this means, thinking about how you operate your company, how you change the operating model, how you change your business model. And this has really two sides. One is looking what digital technology can do for being more efficient, and the other for being more agile, more flexible.
Yes.
And those two are, of course, interconnected.
Well, I think digitalization is a term that is very old, and it's related to taking something that is in our environment and digitize it so that it can be processed by a computer. If you look at this, it is something that now goes to a new era, because not only humans put these data into the computers, but there are lots of objects around us. Look at Internet of Things, wearables, medical devices that are doing this autonomously.
Mm-hmm. You can go to the basic definition, so it's all about bits and bytes and transforming information in computer-readable formats, but digital transformation concerns business models. How have you done business in the past? And then obviously it's digital transformation, everybody's personal life. So what happens, how you use all these gadgets, assets, and the next thing that is around the corner, that the internet is leaving the screens and entering everyday's objects, so that the car is a driving IP address in the future and many other objects, and that will of course have an impact on everybody's life.
It comes from the capacity of data storage and analysis and the IoT technique, web, cloud computing, etc., etc. So everything that is connected with these technologies is a part of the digitalization.
So where do you see the biggest opportunities within Swisscom focusing on the digitalization?
I think we have a lot of great opportunities about digitization. I think to make our processes more lean, efficient, simplicity. I think it's a really important topic for Swisscom to be better, to be faster for our customer. I think there is a great potential, and digitization is a tool to get there.
For me, and of course working for Microsoft, but having worked for the past 25 years in technology is part of my life. It's a very inspiring moment to see that, for example, machine learning, AI is something that's very old. We've already worked in the 70s and now it's real. So to me, it's a big part of my personal life. So for Microsoft, definitely, as we are defining ourselves, trying to be the best platform provider to empower every person and every institution on the planet to achieve more. It's really crucial to be leading internally, but externally as well with customers on digital.
Internet leaving the screens, which means you have, first from a tech point of view, you have all these IoT-oriented approaches, and when it comes to the business model related to that, I think we are talking much more about ecosystems. So within the ecosystem, you have a lot of players that need to work together. So it's about collaboration in these spaces, in these open physical spaces. And so it's not about one industry, but it's about working together from different angles. So there are real estate companies, automotive companies, insurance companies, and there are even media companies that need to find out, having this example of smart cities, what this means for them and how they can collaborate on such a new platform. And I think that's an opportunity, but obviously also a challenge.
Primarily, it affects me by other branches. It's the holiday industry, so booking.com, hotel.com, Airbnb. So all these things, they have an influence on me, music, etc. All these daily stuff. And I think, secondly, it has an impact on all consumers, and they want to have these solutions in other circumstances. They want to have such solutions when they use a car. They want to have such solutions when they need mobility to come from A to B.
Well, of course, everyone understands that we are constantly interacting with the usual media, but of course also we see that more and more intelligence is behind the scenes that is affecting our life. There are new business models that we observe in our daily life. Many other things are still at the horizon, but definitely if you look around, more and more objects are around us that collect data and try to gather information.
Chris, thank you so much for your talk before. It was really great. My community consists of a lot of investors, but also entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs, specifically students. Maybe you can give us, let's say, some advice when you think back of the early days of Reddit and how you started it.
With a startup, you're going to put your blood and sweat into it,
right,
and it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort, and it might end up failing. In fact, 90% of startups do fail, but the whole point of a startup is to do a thing and try it out, and if it works, great. If it doesn't work, use what you learned from that for your next experience.
Right. Just quickly talk about your CTO role. What is it, let's say, to be a technical founder? How did you experience that working, let's say, with the business side?
Oh, so the technical side, I think for Reddit had a tough go at it from the business side, if only because the thing about Reddit, it's actually hard to explain to advertisers. And so we've spent a lot of effort, especially in the last couple of years, of trying to basically evangelize Reddit and show that it's actually a worthwhile platform.
Yes.
I think for the technical side, the whole intention of the technology is to grow the site, which helps the business as well.
So thank you so much for taking these few minutes to talk to me.
Yeah, you bet.
And have a safe trip back, I guess.
Thanks. Good to be here.